introduce to you the next amazing speaker, Ira Singhal, the lady who grew up with scoliosis or curvature of the spine and went on to top UPSC civil services exams, the country's most prestigious examination. The 30-year-old Ira Singhal from New Delhi was refused a posting in 2010, with authorities citing her inability to pull, push, or lift as a reason for rejection. Ira filed a case with the Central Administrative Service and won the case 4 years later, finally getting a posting. She is currently posted as the Assistant Commissioner in the Customs and Excise Department of the Indian Revenue Services. Ira also holds an MBA from FMS. Ira is here to offer a refreshing perspective on what defines normal. Ira, the very confident Ira, it's great to have you here. Please put your hands together for Ira Singhal.
Actually, there are quite a few corrections in that one. So let me just start with why exactly did I come into civil services, and that too after business school. And I was working with Cadbury as a strategy manager. So ever since I was a kid, I kind of wanted to do something for the world around me, and that used to define almost all my actions. So, being I think I was 9 when there was an earthquake in Uttarkashi, and I sort of stealthily gave away all my saved up cash for that because I thought my parents would yell at me for spending that much money. But yeah, so I used to sort of, if anybody fell in my school, I thought it was my responsibility to cure them. I really wanted to be a doctor. And I kept on wanting to do that, but somehow when you get into the rat race and somehow when you grow up, those kind of things go away. And I ended up doing engineering from NSIT, and I see one of my colleagues here. Hi, Pooja. And then I went on to do my business school from FMS Delhi. Did my MBA, worked with Cadbury, and I was very good at my job, in fact, even if I say so myself. My bosses can't verify that here. So, yeah, I was working 20-hour days. I was handling 11 projects, and I was really enjoying myself. I had an excellent life, which almost everybody in corporate India currently does. But there was something missing. I thought that I needed to do something more. The emotional satisfaction of the whole thing was missing. While it was an excellent life and no complaints at all, but I thought there had to be more to what I was doing. And what I was doing didn't really affect people around me. I was making money, and that, yes, chocolate is excellent. Everybody smiles when you get a chocolate, but then I don't know. For me, that didn't make the emotional part of it. So I decided to give civils in 2010. I quit my job. I gave my first attempt. I actually did get through, which I did not expect. And so I got through Customs and Central Excise. Well, I wanted either IFS or IAS. I don't know if there are people in the audience who understand both of those or don't, but yeah. So I wanted to do that, and what happened was that I went to the government, and while I was preparing for my second attempt, because I hadn't gotten the rank that I wanted to get into IAS, I was told that because of the disease, well, not really a disease, but a deformity that I have, I was not allowed to get the job. And apparently there are criteria of the kind of deformities that you have that will be allowed into certain jobs, even if you can do them. So that was quite a surprise. In fact, to be honest, I'd never really faced that problem. Yes, there had been instances where people would discriminate, but then I could take them in my stride because they weren't really affecting my career choices as such. And this one did, and I didn't know what to do. Then I started receiving calls from other students or other candidates who this had happened to. And apparently for quite a few years, they had been discriminating people basis what deformity they had or what handicap they had, and not really whether they could do the job or not. So I decided to fight it. I had worked, I had money, and most of those people who get into the services don't really have anything. They come from extremely poor backgrounds or lower middle income families. And I decided I had the money, so I could fight it. And I was hoping that my court case would solve that issue for a lot of them. In the meantime, I kept preparing for the exam again because I thought if I improved my rank, I would get the service that I wanted, though actually that was not a guarantee either. But then I did prepare, and I started the case in 2012 because from 2011, when the result came, to 2012, the departments were still fighting within themselves and deciding should they or shouldn't they. 2012, I go to the government. I filed the lawsuit. It takes another 1.5 years. In the meantime, I'm preparing again because I have nothing else to do, and I didn't want to go back to the corporate sector because I knew I wouldn't be satisfied again. So I had to do something else, and I didn't want to cheat them. So I was sitting at home, I was preparing, and I got the result of the court case in 2014 February, and even then there was a lot of file work. So by mid-August, nothing had moved at all, even when the judgment had come. I'm again stuck as to what to do. So I give the exam again. Right before I'm about to write my exam, I get the letter that, okay, come join. So I go ahead and give the exam still, and then I go join in the service, Customs and Central Excise, where I was the Assistant Commissioner. 2015 comes, I get the result. I have managed to clear IAS. So I leave that, and now I'm in training in IAS. So I've got Delhi cadre, the Union Territory cadre, so I'll be around here as well. So I think to be honest, I don't really see this as success, because for me, it was just about getting this job, because this is where my success will start. As of now, I haven't done anything. I have just cleared an exam, right? I haven't affected any lives. I haven't really changed things that I wanted to. For example, even this whole process of how they're rejecting people with disabilities, that as well hasn't changed. I'm fighting with the ministry on that, and as per Indian government departments, and everything moves from here to there and there. Hopefully by the time we get there, while we face these problems, we can change that, but it's still moving from here to there, and nothing has changed. So I don't really see getting rank 1 in this exam as a success. For me, this was just getting to this platform and getting to make those decisions, getting an opportunity to make those choices for people around me. So everybody says that you're different. While I see myself as the most normal person on the planet. I mean, I really don't see anything different. But then, aren't we all different? Being different is normal, isn't it? Which one of us is the same? All of us have something. And I have to give credit where credit is due. All my friends, all my family, especially my parents, my father specifically. Ever since I was a child, I was told, this is your disability. These are the things that are wrong with you. But that doesn't define what you can do, and that doesn't define who you are. And I was never allowed to take that as an excuse. Not even for a day did my dad or my mom or anybody in my family allow me to pity myself and say, okay, there's something wrong with you, so I can't do this. That excuse was never allowed. That was just not an excuse. So I had to set up the same targets for myself that everybody else in my family had to. And not just my family, pretty much every, Indian child has to. So you have to be the best at your studies, you have to be the best at your curriculars, be the best at sports. Of course, I managed to chicken out of sports, being as lazy as I was. And that was one excuse I could give myself, but yeah. But then most of my targets were always exactly the same as anybody else. So that whole aspect of there is something wrong with you never came in. I was told this is what you are, and these are the things that you have to do no matter what. So another thing that I think I used to do, which used to help me a lot, was I always looked out of myself. I always looked at people around me, and I always listened to people around me, and I could always figure out that really there's nothing much wrong in my life. And you can always find an excuse, right? You can always find something wrong with your existence. And the way I see it, it's your problem then. The world sees you exactly as you see yourself. Probably the first second that they look at you, they might think something different. But post that, it's what you see yourself. So if you think you don't have the capability, nobody else is ever going to believe it. Not even a single person. But the minute you say you do, I mean, to be honest, I thought I could do this exam. I've met a ton of people who told me, they won't take you, you're so short, they won't take you, you've got these defects, you can't do that. And I thought, okay, let me try. I think I can. So nobody else is defining that for me. So the way I see it is, every single one of us is different. And being different is normal, right? And your challenges are just the ones that you make for yourself. It's all in your head. You decide that this is tough, that it'll be tough. But the minute you think, okay, I'm doing this, let me try. It's not that tough. I don't know. I've never thought of anything as tough, so nothing ever has been tough. yes, being disabled, the world looks at you differently. But then you have to realize, if you're sitting and there's someone with disability walking by, don't you look at them differently? So why do you judge when others are looking at you? If you're sitting in a street, in a cafe, and you're drinking your coffee, and there's an elephant walking by, wouldn't you turn and look? We all would, right? So why are we offended if somebody else turns and looks at us? If we are different, or if there's something which isn't, which is out of the ordinary with us. So the way I figure it, if somebody looks at me, turns around and points and still stares and looks, I give them a smile. Yeah, that works, really, it works. And the next time they see someone different, they're not going to think that person is strange or weird. They're going to think, oh, that's a different person. It's all about perspective. It's all about how you see the situation and how you see yourself. So I figure that, well, everybody's different. And everybody's got problems. Which one of us doesn't? It's what you make of your problems. And some problems are visible, some problems aren't. So it's all on you. How do you define your problems and how you see them? So for me, I think having a strong support system at my home, in my friend circle, and strangely, I always made good friends. I don't know how that happened, but I did. So, another thing was I'm brutally honest with myself. I don't give myself excuses, and I don't tell myself that I'm doing this for some altruistic motive or something, or the other person is wrong. Every time there's something where I feel like something has gone wrong, I analyze my own actions. I figure out, did I do something which affected the situation? Did I do something which changed this outcome? Or did I do something wherein this became what it is? Have the other people reacted to me because of how I was reacting in the first place? And was my reaction to their first reaction that bad? So I'm brutally honest with myself. And if I'm jealous, I allow myself to realize I am jealous. And, if I actually almost never feel jealous, but then, well, maybe a couple of cases, but almost never. But then, because, in the first place, I figured out, okay, I don't like this person because I'm feeling jealous. So let me just stop here, So, yeah. So a lot of people always complain, right? Oh my God, that girl is so pretty, as if that's a crime. It's okay. I mean, you're not so what? You've got other things, right? You've got, it's on you to realize who you are. It's on you to figure out what your strengths are. We can't all have the same attitude. And in fact, if you were both very, very pretty, imagine, nobody else would look at you because you would both be equal. So for you to be standing out, you need to be less pretty or maybe better at something else, right? So that's how I see things, that it's okay, just be yourself, accept who you are. That's where it all starts. The minute you decide, I'm going to allow myself to be who I am. I'm going to think it's okay to be me. And I keep forgiving myself loads of times. Like I forgive myself every time there's an exam night and I haven't studied anything. So, yeah. So, I think the first thing is to be honest with yourself. Extremely honest, brutally honest. Figure out what your faults are and figure out where you're screwing up. Because the minute you start blaming the external world, I could sit here and say the government screwed up, or God screwed up, or life screwed up. That won't work. That won't change anything. What I can do is make the best out of my lot. And maybe okay, so let's be honest. If I did not have this disability, would I be standing here? No, right? So there's always, you can make whatever out of things. And it always comes out of that. You can make whatever out of anything that you've been given. It always comes just to that, how you see it, how you make of it. So there's never anything which is completely bad or completely good. You have to decide what it is. And, every time I flunked out of I actually never flunked, which is why I never topped as well. Because, if you flunk out of something, then you realize, oh my God, I have to study, and you would top the next thing. But that never happened. I would always figure out that, listen, this is where you were wrong. You can't really blame the teachers or, anybody else for this. Like, I remember when I was a kid, I used to love dancing. I was good at it, and not excellent, but good at it. And there was this, so my school teachers would actually call me to the staff room and make me dance just to see me perform. Now I wonder what it was, but yeah, that used to happen quite a bit. But so what happened was that, but whenever there was a school dance, they would not take me. because there would be some move which I wouldn't be able to do properly and they wouldn't take me. And honestly, I never got offended with that. I thought it's okay. I really can't do this. But of course, my parents did, and I think that was a big support system. They would get offended and they would go and talk to the teacher and figure out why they wouldn't include me in anything. But I never got offended. I thought it was okay. I mean, I'm not able to do it, so it's fine. I can do something else. So I don't know. I think you have to make space for yourself. You have to make your own choices, and you have to figure out who you are. And stop judging others. Just judge yourself. Figure out what your motives are. Figure out what you're doing wrong, and you can't change others, right? The only person you can affect is yourself. The only person you can change is yourself. So why not work with that? You can't change others. You can change nobody. So.
Thank you so much, Ira. Thank you so much.